Uh-oh. What just happened?
Oh, let me grab a pen real quick.
Let's see what we got here. Are we live? Is what I can't tell. Yeah, we are. Okay. There it goes. All right. Wonderful. Well, welcome to another First Sunday with Black Poet Laureates. I am your host and actually one of the poets for today. My name is Raya Carmen, and I am joined with the beautiful Jennifer Bartell Boykin, who is Poet Laureate of Columbia, South Carolina. And I am also joined with the beautiful and wonderful Amanda Johnston, who is going to be the first Black woman to be a Poet Laureate of the entire state of Texas. Stars at night are big and bright, deep in the heart.
Deep in the heart of Texas. Thank you so much for
Yes.
having me.
I'm so excited. This makes my heart super, super, super duper happy. All right. So, what we do during these first Sundays is we just kind of talk. We have some conversation. It's like a family time, and then we share some poems and give everybody
Love
an
that.
opportunity to see some of the greatness that we're doing. So, it's Women's History Month. Are you guys super busy this month, or what's going on in your world?
This month is kind of low key. I think everything is kind of building up to next month for National Poetry Month. So I have a few things this month, but it's a pretty light month for a change.
Amen to that. I mean, you got to rest too, right? Rest is
Right.
radical and necessary.
Amen.
Like,
Mhm.
you got to rest. I am not resting. However, Torch is very busy. So I'm sure you all
Yes.
also know I'm the founder and executive director of Torch Literary Arts. And we celebrate, publish, and support Black women writers, specifically with intention and love. So
Yes.
the spring season is always a busy time for us. We just had an amazing event here in Austin in partnership with Algo and the Carver Museum here that celebrated with Samia Bashir and Marvin K. White in the house, celebrating BIPOC queer Black voices. And that was fantastic. And now we've got just a slew of events coming up. We publish poetry, but also fiction, creative nonfiction, and scripts. So screenplays, plays. So on March 10th here in Austin, it's also South by Southwest time. So it's busy in the city. Big conference time here. But we're going to have two amazing screenwriters come in for a panel. We have Monique Moses, who was the co-lead writer for A Black Lady sketch show. And other incredible shows across major networks, as well as Charlotte Lauriston, who wrote for Grand Crew, has her own web series. So they're going to be here live in person, and it's free and open to the public. Just letting these incredible Black women screenwriters talk about what it really looks like to be creating work for us, by us in Hollywood.
Wow. That's so those are some of my favorite shows, and now you got me wanting to get a ticket to Austin.
Well, we're not going to stream it, but we are going to record it. So we're doing a good job of starting to record all of our events and making them available on our YouTube channel. So do come in person if you can. It's a vibe. I'm not going to lie. But if you can't make it here, subscribe to our YouTube channel and definitely follow torchliteraryarts.org.
Absolutely, yes. Oh, look at us. We got some more folks coming on here. I love you, Black Poet Laureates. Let's do it. Yes.
Hey, Avery.
Is that Avery? I'm so excited.
You know I love you, Amanda.
Oh my goodness.
Hey y'all, I'm sorry.
Oh no, I want you to come on.
Amanda knows she my sister from another mister. That's
Absolutely. Oh, my heart.
Now,
My heart.
Avery, where are you located, and where are you poet laureate?
Chi-town.
Chi-town.
Chi-town,
Well,
Chicago.
you're the
And
first.
I'm the first ever. I'm the first ever.
Hey,
Let's go.
Inaugural.
Let's
Inaugural.
go.
First
Look at
ever
this Black History Year.
Black history, yeah. It's Black history all the way around.
oh,
Oh,
yeah.
366 days this
Yeah,
year.
yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yes. We got
That's
to
making me excited.
It is all good. So I'm in here.
Yes. Oh man, that's awesome. Well, I posted the link to the YouTube, and you please share it, and people can come over there and ask
Yes.
questions, or just watch, and it's always up. So there's a whole Black Poet Laureate YouTube channel with
Yes.
all of the conversations that we've been able to have over the years
Okay.
that are there. So yeah, please share that, and let's get going. Let's get going. So what do you have happening, Avery, in Chicago right now? What do you have going on?
I would be talking about what Amanda doing. Look, what I ain't doing. Look. But
Right?
it's always the question really is what I ain't doing. But but for the most part, a lot of just me getting ready to get the city acclimated to some programming that I'm about to kick off, and I'm doing I'm excited. I'm going to be at the New Orleans Books Fest
Okay.
in 14th to the 16th, and I'm trying to sneak up in Texas. I'm trying to. I'm trying to move.
up there.
I'm trying to move because I was trying to pull up on Samir and Marvin last week. I really was.
Oh, I would have acted a new fool. That's right, because we called you. Me and Samir called you that day.
And I was busy doing what I was doing when y'all called, and I was like, dang, see, this was crazy. But I was trying to pull up on them. Couldn't make it out. Just a lot of commitments, but it's all good. It's the work. The city.
Well, you just tell me when you show up in this here state.
You
And
already know I ain't coming. You already know I ain't coming there, and ain't gonna tell you. That's not how that's gonna go down.
because they will tell me.
You scared, go find out. That's the other part. You gonna find out anyway. But,
wow. This is awesome. I'm so glad that like all of y'all know each other. That's really dope.
Well, that is like, I think that is the one of the beauties of this thing, of what's happening now with these appointments, is it's like we know each other, but we also are connected to so many different other communities, right? So Amanda, we go back to CC, and my first year, Amanda was 10 in the bin, and I was like, okay, I can fuck with that one.
These poems together. Hold on, pause, Avery, for those who don't know. 10 and 10 in the bin. So I was a Cave Canem Fellow, 05, 06, 07. And then I didn't leave. And I stayed, and I was the retreat coordinator for over a decade. And so to make sure all of these brilliant Black poets got their working on time, which is a new poem every day, they would hear me yelling across the room, across the cafeteria, outside, down the sidewalk, what it is, 10 and 10?
In the bin.
In the bin.
Not 10 on what? Not you better get there by 9.
Not 7 in the bin. Not 10, 15. 10 and 10. In the
10 and 10.
That 10 on 1 gonna leave you lost.
several brilliant Black poets had to do the walk of shame.
Because that 10 on 1 gonna make you feel real bad about yourself. I'm trying to tell you.
What you had to do was, so we would gather the poems. There was literal bins that you would turn in your brand new poem for the day, so that we could take it to your esteemed faculty member. Right.
Okay.
And so me and my crew in the staff team, what we say, we were the group F or whatever we were. We would get those poems together, make sure that they were ready to present and share, so that their faculty members would have plenty of time to give their feedback and read the work. So if it came late, and especially if that packet was already delivered, You think I'm going up to Toy Derrica and saying, here, can you take one more late poem? No, fam, you got to do that walk yourself. So you would see all these poets running up at 10 o'clock, getting them poems in. I'm talking 3-point shooters from halfway court, getting them poems in.
You ain't never seen that. I ain't never seen that like that in my life. I really had it. I really had it.
Oh, I
It
love
was
it.
all beautiful though, all love and all beautiful. And one of the many ways that we, like Avery was saying, we know each other, and even we don't know each other directly, we come from different spaces where we know and celebrate each other, always first celebrating our Black literary communities. But writing that poem a day, that was brilliant by Toy and Cornelius, and founding Cave Canem and having that be a requirement. You turn in a brand new poem every day. You doing that? It don't matter what your bio say. It don't matter how bad you are. Did you get that poem in though at 10 o'clock?
Wow.
And that's AM. AM.
That makes me want to interview Dr. Edie all over again. I had the joy, because I've always loved reading his work. I had the joy of interviewing him for my podcast last season. And now I want to talk to him all over again. Like, where did this 10 to 10 in the bin come from? I want to know. Oh, that's awesome. That's absolutely awesome. Yay. All right. Well, we all on here. I want to hear some poems. That's I love when we are in this space, because all of our voices are so different. And so being able to now connect with the three of you that I have never met before is so awesome. And just more and more voices coming into the group of Black Poet Laureates makes my heart happy. We'll be able to do volume 2 pretty soon of In Fullness of the Word. So hopefully the three of you will definitely submit and be a part of that volume 2, because we want to keep that going. These the Black Poet Laureates are making history. That's it. We're making history all over the country. So Jennifer, you want to kick us off?
Sure, I want to kick us off. So I'll be reading from my first book, Traveling Mercy.
Traveling Mercy.
That came out in November. So
yes,
it's a baby.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It's been a long time coming for this book. A long time coming. And then my second book is actually going to come out in June. And that one's entitled Only Believe. Right.
Won't he do it?
How you got a second book 6 months for the first one?
That's right.
Willie won't he?
Come on now. That's what I'm talking about.
So I want to read this poem, and I write about place a lot. And so this poem is a lot of this poem is based in Georgetown, South Carolina. And some of it is my hometown, Johnsonville. Some of it's in Hemingway. Some of it's in Muddy Creek. And the title of the poem is the first line of the poem as well. The road to being born is a long one, treading much trouble. Black tea-stained river water pours into the eager mouth of Winyah Bay, where it intertwines like a braid on its way to the Atlantic. On this road, we pass haunted tobacco warehouses and Hemingway, the auctioneer's voice waiting for fall to make him flesh again with the scent of sweet cured tobacco. To cross into this world, I cross many water worlds with woods in between. Tall pines line both sides of the road as if they are lights lining a landing, waiting for my descent. I am ready to step into myself and enter this realm, the height of it all pulsing hard in my blood. I slip through the slit in my mother's belly, the smell of marsh water in my nose. My parents only prepared boy names, but I am Abina, her who comes on Tuesday. On the road home, we go through Muddy Creek, the soft rush of water like the lullaby of my mother's blood, choppy, Peter, and deep creeks. At Granny Moonseed's white house in the middle of a tobacco field, she stares down at me and mourns the arrival of another girl child who may drop her books and then her panties for any man. We passed the building where men in white hoods strategized where to burn the next cross, which was a piece of the road down from the old Huggins place where Ma was born. And then finally home. Home in the quiet blue of the fields, the quiet chaos that is the swirl of voices whispering to me in tongues I will only remember when I go back down the road, when I cross over into the other blue and slip under the slit of the horizon to start this pilgrimage again.
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely love that. Like, I love that alliteration. You have a way with words that is magnificent. That was awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Amanda, what we got?
Oh, let's see here. Oh, put me on the spot after that. That was beautiful, Jennifer. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Let's see here. These are all from a brand new manuscript. So I don't know when it's coming out, but it is gonna come out. So all brand new poems. Let's see here. Yeah, I'll start with this one. It's called On the Other Side for the Children of Gardner Betts. From my window, I see the children's prison. Juvenile detention sounds softer than it is. A younger version of me, pregnant and full of fire, sat in that box weighing my future, the unnatural order of things. What a waste. One teacher shook her head upon my withdrawal. Just another insert stereotype. If only her mother, if only her father. History repeating itself again. My daughter churning inside my womb. 30 years later, on the other side of the street, I watch from the opulent hotel as little futures are pushed down the pipeline of forgotten children. I lean closer into my reflected eye, see the gritty residue of the not so distant past flecked on my face. Thank you.
Yes, I'm over here like I'm eating good food. I love that. Oh man.
Yeah.
I can't wait to read this manuscript. That's all new poems. I love
Yeah,
it.
all brand new poems. I can share the title of the manuscript is Active Threat.
Ooh.
Okay.
So Amanda, I'm curious about this manuscript. What would you say is the vision for the manuscript? Is it, I feel like with that poem, there was this moment where you were in that place where you're in the detention center, but then you were in the present as well. So how do you see the manuscript shaping up?
So if I am so fortunate to have a quote at the beginning of the book, it will be Lucille Clifton's, "Won't you celebrate with me that every day something has tried to kill me and has failed?"
Amen.
That's it.
Yes.
I'm
Okay.
still here. Oh, I'm still
I'm
here.
still here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I was watching
Already,
something.
Tay Tay. Already.
Already.
Already, Tay Tay. That's what you gonna do at the beginning of the book.
Already. Baby, we still here.
Yes.
Ain't going nowhere.
Nowhere.
That's good. That's the good stuff
Ooh.
right there.
I remember during the pandemic, so many of the babies was hitting me up. What are you doing, Unc? What is you doing, Unc? How's you sustaining? I'm feeling bad. I said, look, I'm not lying to y'all. The fact that I can look at my bookcase and and I call it the Blackberry, right? And that the fact that it is all of this work, music, poetry, stories, photographs, all of this work that a affirms life
Mhm.
because it's Black folks,
Mhm.
right? And to write or create and be Black is resistance,
Mhm.
right? And I remember Race Jackson in particular. I was like, I said, baby, Mama Lucille.
Yeah.
Mama
Mhm.
Lucille, you gotta go back to that one right there. Every day,
Mhm. Yeah.
something
Yeah.
has tried to kill me and has failed. I said, that right there, and then I pause and not think about the lost,
Mhm.
but I think about the remainder, right? So I would that last line, and I would go, okay, I'm breathing. I'm actually like alive.
Mm-hmm.
There's food in the pantry. Okay. And the food in the pantry is not the last food. Thank Jesus. In the not the last food in the pantry. I'm gonna be able to get some more. I'm gonna be able to get some more. And I think because right when that happened, I had a book that had just came out. Neckbone had just came out. And all of
Yes, neck
those,
bone.
right. And all of those, that tour, the bookings and all that was done.
Mm-hmm.
It had been one, all that got canceled. And I was like, dang, Gina. But in spite of it, despite of, I was able to sustain. But yeah, that particular poem, those particular lines, because again, we were just talking to this about was talking to this class the other day, walked into this class and we were talking about Afrofuturism. And I was like, but at the end of the day, the future is breath. The future is breath. It's not flying saucers. It's not the meet George Jetson and his boy Elroy. It's none of that. The future is breath. You know, I said Afrofuturism was some shit that the visual poets, the visual artists stole from the writers, from the Black writers. It was literary movement at first. I said, well, then again, the visual artists wanted to put some glitter on some damn.
What
Yeah,
Baldwin say? What Baldwin
they
say?
want to put glitter on the canvas. I was like, oh, you could have did
Uh-uh.
that.
What Baldwin say? Only the artists or only the poets, and by that I mean all artists are
Yes.
probably the ones who know the truth about us.
You know
Yes.
the truth about us. And I was just like, I was just like, the point of it was to say we would exist. That we would, because any and everything about the future didn't include us.
Wow.
Even in the Jetsons. There's a robot before they're a nigga.
Wow. Say that.
It's
Come on,
It's
Avery.
true.
And who don't think that the robot is the nigga in the Jetsons?
Mm. Mm.
It is.
It can get deep. It can get deep. I don't want to derail our amazing conversation here, but if you go back and search when you have a moment, the Jetsons, and search Black Jetsons, and you will see the portrayal of Black future peoples in the Jetson cartoon, and
Wow.
just sit with that.
Oh.
Sit with that for a minute. And I'm coming to y'all. It's not just happening here in Texas, but how our presence, and I mean our present day, is even being erased by the erasure of our history.
Yeah.
Yes.
Taken out of the books, taking the books out of the library, taking the
Books out
facts
of the
and the history
schools.
out of the schools, out of the
Yes.
books,
Yeah.
right? So
what
that to
we're
me is like
banning.
all the more reason why what we're doing right now is so vital to our current existence and to our future selves, for our
Yes.
future generations.
Yes.
Because if they don't know
absolutely.
where they came from,
They can't
you
know where
know.
they're going.
They can't know.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Can't know. They can't know.
Ooh, y'all make my heart happy today. I needed this conversation. Thank you,
Listen,
thank
Oh,
you.
that's right. Every day. It is Sunday. It's
It
Sunday
is.
and y'all got every in here. So church, I would have
Church.
came, I would
Mm-hmm.
have came dressed a little better, put my church hat
Let's
on,
listen,
had a
church.
whole fit, gloves. I'd have been ready. We Southern up in here. I would have been at church proper. It's almost Easter. Like
It is. It
we can
is.
go to
We
church.
celebrating Easter on this one.
We rising, baby. We rising.
I love it.
Grand one of the poet laureates it's in the group, she calls it the Grand Rising.
Yes.
Yes, and I love it. All right, Avery, you're gonna share a piece with us, please.
I'm gonna share a piece. It will shut the door. Oh man, I don't even have, I was gonna share something from the new joint, but I don't. No, that's the other machine. All right. The okay, I got it. From Tubman. Sit down job. Because I'm in the room with Black poets. Gonna get me a sit down job. Corner office middle. Cause I can't be on my feet too long. So my weight, I gotta put my weight on my brain. I gotta put my weight on. Gonna get myself right with God and stop feasting off devil fruit. Find me a church to be in on Sunday morning. And not shame the house I come from. Not shame the house I come from. Mother Mary, do you see me down here? Trying my best to eat off these palms alone. Hoping one day me being myself will make you proud to say, child, hold on. I'll see you in a minute. Gonna get me a great big choir. Sing the songs of the old landmark. Keep on clean draws in case someone must identify me. Don't wanna shame the house I come from. Don't wanna shame the house I come from. Hey, I'm gonna move it just a little bit higher. Grow my own groceries in my own backyard. Tomatoes, onions, greens, just like it used to. The way I'll never be hungry. Mama, I'll never go hungry. Mother Mary, do you see me down there? Trying my best to eat off these palms alone. Hoping one day, me being myself, make you proud to say, child, hold on. I'ma see you in a minute. Look here, Jennifer, I ain't gotta wonder. how I got over Amanda. I ain't gotta ever wonder how I got over. Every time my soul is back, I'm so glad. I ain't gotta wonder. I read my angel, and that's how I got over. I read all the Lord, and that's how I got over. I read, 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 I read a movie Barack, y'all, and that's how I got over. I read one sermon, y'all, and that's how I got over. Opened up a book with Zora name on it, y'all, and that's how I got over. Watch this. This day, 20 years from now, somebody gonna read Active Threat, and they gonna know how they got over. Oh, I never ever have to wonder.
Yes.
Good God.
Thank you for that word. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. You know, when you start sweating, you know.
I asked for a poem and got a sermon. You better go ahead now. One of God's trombones up in here.
Come on, man.
Yes.
Ain't ever gotta wonder. Ain't ever gotta wonder. I got
Man.
You served us tomatoes. You served
And
us
greens. Yes,
greens.
growing it in the
You-
backyard.
like
You
used to.
served us them poems. That was a meal, beautiful one. That was a meal.
Yes. Bless my
Hey.
soul. Blessed my soul.
Yes. Needed that.
I'm
Mhm.
full.
Y'all, I
I'm
needed this.
full.
I needed this one. Well, I should have went first, let you go last. Avery, I don't know that I want to read my little poem after that.
Stop telling those stories.
Got to share. You got to share.
You got to share, yeah.
Everybody
Absolutely.
share.
We
We
all
need
laid,
all this.
we all
this.
lay it down for each
We
other.
do.
That's the beauty of it. We all lay it down for each other.
Yes.
Mhm.
Well, I was a K-12 school teacher up until June of this
Wow.
past year. At which point I stepped out of the classroom into academia, secondary. And so now I run a program for math teachers, basically teaching them how to be great math teachers, cloning myself for the whole state of Tennessee.
Wow.
But in stepping out of the classroom, it was not necessarily my choice. It was what God had for me. And so I wrote a one-woman show called When a Teacher Breaks Free. And this is the first piece in that show. And it's called The Matrix. The Encyclopedia Britannica defines a matrix as a set of numbers arranged in rows and columns so as to form a rectangular array. The numbers are called the elements or entries of the matrix. A set of students arranged in rows and columns so as to form a classroom array. Each number is an element, an entry into the matrix that requires an understanding of physics, engineering, mathematics, and statistics to provide any transformation. A set of each student in the public school system has a top dollar value. A set of dollar values arranged in a school to study how they will affect economy, experiment with the physics of their minds, engineer a class of people that don't believe they will ever make it out of the set of elements they have been placed into. I have studied matrices and always wondered why they are so hard to comprehend, just elements in a box used for application. Look on to the original attitude for education, to put people into boxes with rows and columns, use them for various jobs in which they must put forth applications. I thought we proved the world was round, so why are we still looking for rectangles? finite in their definition of length and width, incapable of becoming more than the original intention. When you place an element into a matrix, there must be some drastic change for it to break free. Change the dimensions of the matrix. A teacher must break free from the idea of the rectangular array of young minds and open the door to set them free. But first, a teacher must be free.
Oh yeah. Yes.
What now? A teacher
Let's
must
go.
what?
Be free.
Mm.
Be free.
Yeah.
Oh my
Be free.
God. Oh, what a way to end. Thank you. That was amazing.
Thank
Yeah.
you, thank you. Yeah,
That
so
was
I
amazing.
teach math, but I write poems, and everybody always says that that doesn't go together. So
And that is so foolish.
How?
What they don't understand. I
That
don't
is so
understand why
foolish.
shit is so
Mhm.
foolish.
It
What
is.
understand?
yeah, because
I don't know
I
what this-
just that makes sense to me. But yeah, so that's the beginning of the show, and hopefully one day the
you know
show will
what, though?
tour, and y'all will get to see it and
But
all
you,
of that good stuff.
you want to know what though? You lying to yourself when you say you left the classroom.
Mm.
Mm,
Your classroom was just bigger.
Mm.
I receive it.
Sarah,
Come through.
come on now.
You lying. I'm trying to tell you, you lying to yourself. That's ball face life. You say
Mm,
if you say you left the classroom, because what has just happened, you're in the position at this point to have such a bigger classroom.
mm,
Effective. And I think, and it's so crazy to me sometimes when people would ask, well, what does math have to do with language? As if math isn't a language.
it
Right.
is its own
Right.
language. Yes.
Mhm.
Right. And just like poetry, it's a language that asks for very specific language.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Even get to the resolution.
Yeah.
Right. You
Yeah.
know, math and
Explore
poetry.
the unknown.
Right.
Yeah.
It's about
That's, I mean, that's actually that's part of
Mm.
my thesis. I'm starting my doctorate in the fall, and it's in young adult literature, but I'm talking about the language of math in young adult
Ooh.
literature and how we can use that to help high school and middle school students understand mathematics better just by using
Mm.
The
literature.
same two things are going up in the space right now. Poetry and math is
Mhm.
getting us there.
Yeah.
It
Mhm.
truly is how we're getting
Mhm.
to the next realm.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Poetry and math.
Me and math had a real strenuous relationship. And I'm one of those. I'm gonna get an A regardless.
Mhm.
If it mean I gotta study a little longer, then that's what's gonna happen or whatever. But when I got to college, it was like the teacher was like, no, like, yeah, you get it all wrong.
Mm.
You think math is about counting. No, math is about speaking. And when that motherfucker
Mhm.
said that,
That's
Mm.
it.
that shit totally flipped.
It's
What's
all
that
in how
teacher's
somebody
name?
presents it to you, right? It's a
Yeah.
language. Yes.
It's,
What
Yeah.
what
these
was
are
that professor's name?
This is this is Professor Wright. His name was Professor. I forget his first
Mine
name.
was Mr. Zoo. Mr. Zoo.
Wow.
Mr. Zoo in college, same. I was struggling. And when I tell you, I would study and do my best. Like, hey, I had amazing grades and everything but math.
Yeah.
And when I
Wow.
got to
Math
college,
I had to work at.
yes, and I had to, I mean, I'm not ashamed. This is hard work that went into this. I had to take developmental math like 3 times before I got to college math.
Wow.
And when I finally made it to college math, I was distraught. I was like, oh my God, I have to pass this because I'm not going back. I'm not doing this again. I only needed to pass college level math and never look at math again.
Her.
What I
Right.
needed to do. Mr. Zoo at Elizabethtown Community and Technical College, when I was living in
Wow.
Kentucky, sat with me and he said, it is, just as Avery did, is speaking.
Mm-hmm.
And when he started using language
Yeah.
and storytelling
Yes.
for me to understand the algebra and the equations, it was a story.
Yes.
And then that changed everything for me. And the other thing he did that I needed in that moment too was he took accountability for his own work in my education. He
Mhm.
said to me plainly, he said, I am the teacher. It's like you are the student. He said, you are the lock and I am the key. It is my job to
Mhm.
figure out how to unlock your mind.
Come on
Yes.
now. Yes, it is.
Oh, wow.
But
And then
you
that
know
stayed
what?
with me through education too. I think we've all, worked in education. I too worked in education. And that, I mean, God, that was over 20 years ago that man said that to me. And it has stayed with me, not just through my work as an educator, but my work in the world.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Be responsible for my part in what's
Yes.
happening here.
Mhm.
But
Right?
you know, I think that
Ooh.
that's the thing is that so often we have so many, especially black and brown kids that go through middle school and high school and nobody ever tells them that. And so they have this idea. They come from a culture of storytelling, right? They come from a
Mhm.
culture of language and nobody tells them that math is the same. And so they go through middle school and high school thinking they're bad at something that is innate and in them.
Mhm.
And so, as a math
Come on
teacher, I
now.
taught middle school and high school. That's what I taught in my classroom. It's scary. It's scary to a principal. It's scary to a system to have a teacher that can unlock so many black and brown kids. So
That's
I now
right.
have black and brown kids taking AP calculus and doing great.
Yes.
They don't want me.
Yes.
They don't want me.
No, they don't want
they
the
they
free.
dismissed. They got rid of my contract.
They don't want, you
Wow.
talked about in your poem how the teachers got to be free as
Mhm.
well, right?
Yeah.
So when you're free as a teacher, that means you can free your students, but they don't want free students.
They don't.
They want
Because the
people,
system. It's a
right? They
system.
want these students to go out and be workers and obey and
Exactly.
not think for
Mhm.
themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So that's,
Wow.
I'm a teacher as well, so I understand that, I get it, but they say they want them to learn how to think critically and do all these other things, but everything in the system says the opposite.
Right. They want them to think
Mhm.
critically within the box.
Right. Yeah.
That's it.
And
That's
No,
it.
they want them to be
The iron-
compliant within the box.
Mhm.
Yes.
That's still different
Right,
than
because
thinking critically.
because they don't
It
even want
is.
right, they definitely don't want them to think critically because if
Right.
I
they
want you to
think
be
critically,
compliant. I want you to perform, and I want to be able to report on your performance. That's
it.
building actors, not thinkers.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
not talking about the acting profession. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah,
People who are
absolutely.
walking through this world.
them robots. Well, as Fela said, zombie. Go left, go right.
Robots.
That's
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's
That's what
exactly
they want.
right.
the thing. I remember 4th grade. There was telling teacher I had my uncle with his self. My uncle shot gave me this book before the Mayflower, and I'm like, wait, hold up, wait a minute. Uncle ain't got no word. I mean, he ain't got no pictures. Well, you don't need no pictures. Here we go. But I went to the teacher and I'm like, hey, why did you all say that Christopher Columbus discovered America? And that lady basically was like, well, he's a European. Well, no. He wasn't here. And
Never even made it here.
Right.
Never even
And-
made it.
Right. And this is a 9-year-old. And this is a 9-year-old. Right. This is a 9-year-old. This is a 9-year-old me talking to this teacher. And she said to me, Avery, come Friday, when the test says who discovered America, if you put anything other than
Christopher Columbus, you
Christopher
wrong.
Columbus, I will mark it correct.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I said, well, I'm gonna get the 100 on the test.
But I know the truth.
Right.
Y'all
I know
don't
the
know what
truth.
y'all talking. Y'all don't know what y'all talking about. Because when you say Columbus, first of all, it's double erasure. Because you not only erasing the history of the indigenous people of this land, but his name wasn't even Christopher fucking Columbus. So
It wasn't.
his name wasn't even Christopher Columbus. So
Mm.
You disrespect him, you disrespect the indigenous
so
people.
he gonna be Cristobal Colon
Mm-hmm.
to the people. you still not telling nobody the truth. It's the erasure on top of the erasure, and
Right.
Yeah.
this is what they want, and even more erasure as a man to put out, because now they banning
Right.
any
They
everything.
they taking the
Yes.
books. Yeah.
They're taking the
Mhm.
books, and if it doesn't serve the purpose, then they're taking it out of the books. You know,
Yeah,
that
and
it was on those expeditions. They had Africans leading the expeditions because they could chart the land. They
right.
don't
York,
tell us that.
they never would have made it to the West Coast without York.
Come on,
They
come
never would have
through.
made it to the West Coast. Lewis and
Mm.
Clark would have went nowhere without York.
Nowhere. Right.
But
Nope.
we don't get that. We don't get that. We
And
don't,
thank you, Frank X. Walker, for teaching the world about York through poems.
Mhm.
that part.
Frank. Yes.
Mhm.
That part, Bobby Frank. That this is
First Black poet laureate of Kentucky.
of
Yes.
Kentucky out of all places.
Yes.
Yeah.
Man.
Y'all been to
Y'all,
Kentucky?
you said what?
Y'all been to
I'm in
Kentucky?
Tennessee. I'm in Tennessee.
No, I said y'all been to
don't- I don't think I've been to Kentucky.
I have been, but I have not had a chance to meet Frank X. We have talked online.
Yes.
And that's about it because I'm trying to get him on an episode of the podcast as well.
Mhm.
I love, picking the brains of these great Black poets. It just makes my heart happy, and so I want to get him on the episode. I need all three of y'all on the episode so I can go deep and spend a whole hour talking to you. 'Cause, being the first at anything is already history. I found myself one day I was Snapchatting my niece. That's how we communicate because she lives far away. And I started pouring into her one day and I said, your mom is telling you that auntie is Black history, but you are Black history. Every day, every choice that you make, like you are Black history. You are making history. And I
Mhm.
went to class that day and I told my students, I said, if you look at life as every day is something that could go in a history book and you live it like you are going to be history, then you will be proud of the life that you've lived. And
Wow.
so that's what I started teaching my students, and like I said, people didn't like that.
What was the class? What was the population?
I taught I'm in Oak Ridge, Tennessee. So I have very diverse class, but I'd say it's probably about 60% European American and about
Okay.
35% Black. And then the rest would be your a mix between Asian and Hispanic.
Wow.
Okay.
But so Oak Ridge is where they built the atom bomb. If y'all know the movie
Mhm.
Oppenheimer and all of that, that's happened here where I live.
Yes.
Okay,
Oh.
so Oak Ridge is called the Secret City, and they brag because they were actually the first district to desegregate schools and everything, but they couldn't tell anybody because it was a secret city because they were building the atom bomb here. So nobody knew that they were the first city in the South to actually desegregate, and they brag on that a lot. Like it's a big deal, but they are not necessarily honest with the truth of the Black people that came to our city. So you had Black PhDs and engineers who would come to Oak Ridge thinking that they were going to have their jobs. And when they got here, because they were in the South, they told them they couldn't do anything but clean the buildings. And so they became janitors. They made Black families, they separated them. They made the Black men live in what's called hutments, and the women lived across the city. And so there's like stories of these Black women who would bake biscuits and things and bring it to the guards just so that they could see their husbands. And I mean, so I live in a crazy town with a lot of history, but it's beautiful because we have people from all over the world here because it's still a heavy engineering facility. So they still got the secrets over there at the plant. So they're still there. So so we still have, we have people from all over the world. It's just it's a deep history, and you still, but you still see that segregation, that racism is still alive, in different ways. It's in different ways. You won't find a lot of, in our educational system, you won't find a lot of Black people in leadership.
Well, I mean, it's what you just said is the secret. Are you free if it's a secret?
Hey, come on
Are
now.
you free? Are you free if don't nobody know it?
Yeah.
And you got to perform and act like you not.
Right. And
I
see,
think
and
it
that's what I
sound like
told
you
my
not.
husband. I said, we are the highest paid district in the whole state of Tennessee. So teachers here get paid the most out of any other district. So then you have teachers who don't want to leave. And it's like an abused woman who won't leave her husband because she don't know how she's gonna take care of herself.
Right.
And so they're like, I can't leave. You know, I've been in education 15 years. There's nowhere I can go and earn as much as I'm earning here. So I'll stay and I deal with all the crazy.
So when you tell yourself that, I'm always looking at liberation and self-elected, right? Harriet don't run to freedom. Harriet run because she was free already.
Already.
She was free already. So you can't do what
you can't do what Harriet did until you
think that somehow you in some level of bondage, or you gonna get get or it's a whole bunch of things you can't have working, or that may meet the universe before your inclination of your freedom does.
Yeah.
Right. And it's so, I'm always telling folks, especially now, like doing the art education consulting that I do, the thing that makes art dangerous in a school day is because it is the time where the agency is on the student,
the kids.
Time of the day where you talking about you. Right. So what we're not going to do with kids, especially with the kids of color, and even more so with the uncolors, as I call them, what we're not going to do, what we're not going to do is hand them white sheets of paper and say draw.
No.
We're not going to hand them white poets and say read. We're not going to do it. We're not going to, we will be cognizant on how many of these author names are women names.
We have to be.
We're going to be intentional in understanding that and why that is important. Right? We're going to tell our Black boys, hey, you're not gay because you read. Because that's
right.
You're not gay because you know how to read
or write poems.
Right. And we're gonna tell my young sisters, hey, you could be smart.
Yes.
And not worry about them who want to marry you because you're smarter than them. Because the smart is the commitment you make to yourself.
Right.
The smart is the intelligence is the commitment you make to yourself. And what you get is what you get. Why is a 9-year-old girl cognizant of the fact that if she reads more fluidly than her male counterpart, she somehow is a threat to him?
Shouldn't be.
Why is that set up in that way? I'm like, because you can't be. At that point, you and that other 9-year-old baby got a world in front of you.
Yeah.
If life goes the way it's expected to go, you have way more days ahead of you.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
To be any and everything you want to be 2-3 times over. why we get these babies in this school every day for these many hours that stifle them
Right.
with information that serves them nothing if
Nothing
they
at
don't
all.
critically think their way out of things.
Yes.
They can't critically think if they're doing, which is what the most part is, they're memorizing answers.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
And now they're using AI to write papers and stuff too.
Yeah.
They got to do that. No, this is one joint. And that thing though, when you have them access to language to say and who they are and their experiences, and they know to read the book called Before the Bayflower instead of whatever they're getting in the school. If they have I tell this group of parents that I work with, you got to have more books in your house than TVs. You got to.
Absolutely. Yes.
You got to have more books. Your children need to walk home and see a library. They need to.
Have to.
They have to see it, and it's not because it's not about making avid readers. It's about making them thirsty for information
Yes.
that they won't accept. Christopher Columbus discovered America.
Right. Because they'll go look it up.
Because they'll go look it up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, look. Oh, that's what one book say. That's what one book say. But I went over to T.T. Amanda's house, and T.T. Amanda got a whole bunch of books.
And her book says something different.
And her books say something different. And right. And it's like you make it the culture in your crib that you have more books in your house than you do TVs and other gadgets. And this is what they see when they walk in the house. They see the library, they see the paintings, they see the little knickknacks on the shelf, because that keeps you can't go. Some of these schools, if they ain't got a teacher who is free in front of them.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I say something, and that loves you. And that loves you.
Yes,
and
they
that
have
loves you.
And that loves you. Who was that? Was that Frederick Douglass said that you can't educate someone you don't love or something? I'm
yes,
paraphrasing that, but it really is. It's love, and it doesn't stop with the children and with the youth. It's continual. I stand in front of audience all the time and I say, I love you.
Yes.
And I mean that. I love you.
Because
we are here.
If I don't.
We're here together. How are we in space together? Everything starts crumbling when you don't love. Respect crumbles.
Yeah.
When you don't love.
Come on now.
You know that love exists. There has to be a space in there first. It starts with love. And it has to start with love for people you don't know.
Yes.
Yeah. We're watching the conflicts in the world. Cease fire in Gaza. Please start with love. Everything you're watching and seeing is not love.
It's not.
It's not.
It's not.
It is not love.
No,
and it is not the sound bites that get shared about who did what and when and why. It comes down to the oppressor and capitalism protecting itself.
Yep.
Yes.
That's it.
That is what we're fighting.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're fighting. When you have children, Cindy Avery, you said something, why does this sister think that she's going to be a threat to this man? They're not a threat to each other at all. It's because the system knows that if they are educated and they love each other, they are a threat to the system.
Woo!
That's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
If they are educated and
they love each other.
Yep. Those two things have to go together. Yes.
And they are a threat to the system.
They are a major threat to the system.
Why you think miscegenation laws last so long? I think that there's still states that have miscegenation laws on them that Black and white people can't marry.
There was in Alabama until.
What would that matter to you except that people love each other?
Yeah, 2000
beyond your restrictions. Beyond your restriction. Beyond your restriction, beyond your oppression, people love each other. And we're willing to die and fight you because of it. Oh, that's a strong thing.
Yeah.
That's what they don't want you to be educated. They don't want you to love each other. When you're educated and you love each other, you can unite. You can organize. You can fight. Come through now.
Yeah.
How often does this message make it into what you're writing, or like when you, because I know as a poet laureate you're asked to, go in front of the city or go in front of the state, to deliver pieces for a governor or a mayor. How often does that message make it into what you're delivering?
Well, number one, those invitations don't come like you think.
Oh yeah, I was about to say I haven't done any official anything for the city.
No,
So
no,
Really?
no,
And
no.
look, and I'll try to tell mine, this can't be what the fuck you want me to do. It can't be all that you want me to do. We got to figure out something else.
Yeah.
And I mean,
Yeah.
respectfully, because it's what I was doing already. I ain't never.
Right.
I've been reading in front of the man, been reading in front of the governor.
Right.
This is what I've been, been doing. Right. The issue is that I understand my practice is not just been about the poems I write. It's been about the love, right?
Oh yes.
It's been about the
Unity.
love I've given, the unity I've given to not my cohort of poets, but these babies that I done taught. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
These babies that come up. The thing is, I'm Unc. I'm Unc in this city. In this city, I'm Unc. And it's only because I love. It's only because I love, and not only because I love, but I am loved back.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's good.
Reciprocity. It feeds. It's cyclical. It feeds.
It's
Yeah.
just not. But my narrative is not. I can give love and get love and get love and don't get none of it in return. That's not my narrative at all.
Wow. Right.
My narrative is I love, and I know I'm loved back.
Yes.
I know I'm loved back. That's like for sure. If I ever forget how much I am loving people, I never forget how many people love me.
That's good.
I never forget. I never get my mamas, my aunties, Jamilas and Nates, and all these babies who I ain't got no bloodline to.
Wow. Yes.
And then the love you give them, they giving to other people.
They give it. That's what I tell them.
It's love.
The love I put on you, you put on somebody else.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
If
it
you
flows.
want you ain't never got to buy me a birthday gift. You ain't never got to put me in your thank yous or nothing.
Spread it.
You continue the work by loving.
Yeah.
And loving yourself.
Loving yourself.
You can't do this.
Love me.
Yeah.
Love me.
Yeah.
Yes.
It took me a while. I have to say that. I mean, the interior struggles are real, right? And we've all experienced that. That's not a question. That's a statement. We've all in the world experienced that on some different level. So it takes getting to a point of loving yourself, that solitary in a room, you're enough.
Right.
And you want better for you to be able to face this work that comes, the truth that comes, the beauty and the heart in it. You have to love yourself and care for yourself to be able to do this. I've seen many a poets not be able to care for themselves.
Yes.
And that's a dangerous place to be.
It sure is.
And that's not something that you can then share and put out onto the people. People try. And then you see toxic spaces. You see sickness. You see harm. You see hurt. You have to love yourself. You have to do your work for yourself. You have to write these poems first to feed into yourself, to understand yourself. And then when you do that, that's what you're sharing with the world.
Right.
That's what you're sharing with other people. And they're able to see that, to say, wait a minute, I want to love myself. I want to be aligned. I want to be on this vibration. That's what they connecting with. You have to do that. But that word love, people don't want to use that word love. And I'm like, oh my God, love is the most powerful force. It is true. You can't fight evil without love. You have to love.
And I'm always like, why we want to walk around writing poems, but don't nobody want to be in the room with us? How that work? How that work? how you walking around here
Insufferable.
writing poems and people are reading them and you're winning awards and you're getting this and you're getting
Mm,
but can't nobody be in the wrong room with you.
Don't want to
mm,
because of your attitude.
mm.
And
What's
it's and no and it's but if it was just the attitude, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. No, you're a dangerous motherfucker. You unsafe.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yes.
If
Mhm.
it was
Yes.
just an attitude, this wouldn't even be a conversation.
Mm.
They can't share space with you
Yeah.
because you've designed yourself so damn miserable. Ain't nothing you writing speaking in you first.
Right.
Oh.
Right. So
No.
it
Nothing
can't
you
speak to
writing,
nobody else.
ain't nothing you writing speaking in you first, but then you got this person in your face. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, you're such and you're such. And now you decide to exercise this thing called power
Mm.
Mm.
and your toxicity.
Yeah.
And then
And
you
that's what it said too. That first part, it's that first piece too, though. What I say, they condition you to do what? To perform,
yeah,
Mhm.
to be compliant and to perform.
Compliant. Mhm.
There's a
Mhm.
lot of folks walking around and their art ain't nothing but compliancy
Woo.
and performance.
Mhm.
And so what's
It is.
missing is the heart and the soul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the
Right.
part that's missing. You haven't done the work to sit with yourself and
Right.
work on what you're doing and know what you're doing. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? And that
Mm.
doesn't mean everybody likes your work,
That's right.
but it
Mhm.
does know that you know yourself and you know it is your work.
Right.
Right.
Yep.
You know, somebody told me the dog don't sit down because you tell it to sit. The dog sit
Mm.
down. They love you. Dave decided.
Yeah.
To listen to you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dave,
Right.
Yeah.
and they
Yep.
sit not because you're telling them to do something, just because you're ruling over them.
No.
They
Mhm.
understand whatever you're asking is of their safety.
Mhm.
It's good.
And
Not because
somebody knows that they care for
they're
you.
for you.
I can't follow you if I don't know that you care for me,
That's it.
that you're going to create safety for me, that I can have your back and that we're in this together. I'm not following you.
Right. Mm.
Mm-mm.
You don't care about me.
Mm-mm.
And
Mhm.
or you at least very good at not pretending.
I mean, no, but I mean, all y'all understand when you get deep into this work, poetry, that's one of the things, folks, poetry, people talk often about how poetry, some folks are intimidated by
Mhm.
poetry. And they say,
Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't get it. No, the thing is that you do,
Mhm.
and you're scared of what it made you think.
Yes.
And now you have to become vulnerable to
Mhm.
express that you do know what it's talking about.
Yes.
That
Yeah.
you're here in it with me. When the work is doing what it's supposed to do, the person who's receiving it, whether they're reading it in private or they're listening to it at an event, what they are having to do is become vulnerable to
Mm.
connect in that space with you. And they can only do that if you have created a space for that to happen
That's good.
safely,
Mhm.
truly. And that means I'm being vulnerable and that I'm here with you too. All
Mhm.
of that has to happen at the same time.
Mm.
All of that has to happen at the same time. And that's why it's such, the learning never stops in this art,
That's
Right.
right?
Mhm.
Mhm.
Because if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, that means you're constantly learning and understanding yourself and you're growing every day.
Yes.
Right. Mhm.
Yeah, that's
You
life.
have to be that intentional with it,
Mhm.
right? And you have to face yourself honestly with love.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
With
Period.
love, with
With
love.
love and grace for yourself.
Mhm.
That poem that I read, I'm very much subscribed to Sharon Old School. I'm the I and the I. I teach about it. I talk about it all the time. There's no speaker in the poem, unless it is a straight up persona poem or something. That's me on the page.
Right.
Right.
We're
Yeah.
not going to
Yeah.
not going to hide behind nothing. That's me on the page. So
Mm.
to get to a place in my life where I could unapologetically, with love and grace and care for myself, write about being a pregnant teenager inside a juvenile detention center in
Mm.
the city where I still live. Garden of Bets is right
Mhm.
here in downtown Austin,
Mm.
Wow.
right? I have to have done the work on myself.
Yes.
Right.
Or poems like that would eat me alive from the inside out.
Mm-hmm.
Look at yeah. Come on now.
That's good.
Mm.
Come on now. Got you a sit down job, as my big mama would say. I got
And then
you.
what?
No, I'm just saying, got you a sit down job. Got you a sit down job. Just like Big Mama say, got you a sit down
Hey,
job.
I'm still here. That's all I know. And when I'm able to share that poem now, especially sitting here as the poet laureate of this state,
Mm.
Of
what
Mhm.
that does
The
for
state.
someone, what that does for someone else to see that in
Work
real
hard.
time and to read poems like that and to say, wait a minute, that's your story?
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
That's like my story. And I was
Right.
like, yes, baby, because we in this together,
Mhm.
because we are the
Put
same.
yours over there.
And that's it.
Mhm.
That's so
Okay.
I'm sure I don't think she would mind
Over
me
here.
sharing this story. She talked a bit about it while she was here. But Bobby Francis, praise Bobby Francis,
Yes, baby.
miracle poet that she is. She came down with Torch's readings during the Texas Book Festival. And she is not on these here social medias. So she did not know that I was named the 2024 Texas Poet Laureate. This was in November.
Oh.
And so she was here and she's from Texas. She was born and raised in West Texas. And when she found out, we sat and cried for about 5 minutes,
Oh,
just crying. Because in both of our youths, right, when we were young as girls, that was something we never could have dreamed of.
Mhm. Mhm.
That was something that we never could have dreamed of. And then here we are sitting together, holding hands in that dream made reality.
mm.
Mhm.
Come through, poetry.
Come
Come
through.
through
But
poetry.
again,
Poetry did that.
but again, and what I love about what poetry teaches folk, especially the babies, and especially with your narrative, Amanda, is that I get to write who I'm going to be.
Yes.
You're not going to tell me
Mhm.
who I get to be.
Mhm. Right.
The
Mhm.
fact that I can access language to tell you what I feel about anything,
Mhm.
anything.
Yeah.
The tree, this piece of pie, a ham sandwich, whatever it is.
Mhm.
The fact that I can access language enough to tell you something I feel about anything, it means I get to define I am the creator of the narrative that I then go about being something so because people get told what they're gonna do or who
Yeah.
they're supposed to be all of the time, and they listen and they follow.
Mhm.
And even more dangerous than that, they believe.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They believe what someone else has said they were supposed to be.
Mhm.
A complete stranger, a lot of the times.
Mhm.
Somebody who doesn't care about you. That and it takes the only unraveling of that is love.
Oh, yes.
The only unraveling that is love. But but Amanda, I'm telling you that I don't especially with these laureateships, right? Because a lot of them come that start at your poet tree or your poet self, right?
Mm-hmm.
But your poet self comes from your human self.
Yes.
And
Yes.
your human self comes from experiences that ain't always
Yes.
pretty,
Right.
Mhm. Mhm.
right? That ain't always that's not like that's like who thinks the trajectory of a teenage mother in a juvenile detention center becomes a state
Poet laureate.
poet laureate.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Who thinks that, right? Who thinks that? Who who has already checked that into a box called statistics to say that
Mhm.
this
The
is this
Matrix. We heard
Matrix,
that
Come
poem,
on.
didn't I?
Matrix,
Yes.
that this and this is right, that this and this and this is this is gonna happen.
Right.
And
Mhm.
this is from something that happened when I was one in front of my age. And I'm telling you, it was the one in front of my age that put this fire in me
Mhm. Oh,
that made
yes.
the narrative of something totally, it made me made me write the narrative to something totally different. Man, that is just like,
But I was educated and I got to praise my mama and my daddy. I mean, the memoir gonna come out at some point too, because I was raised, I was raised by a union steward, um, organizer, and a Jeet Kune Do master. Truly.
Wow.
No, real talk. Jeet Kune Do. My father studied under the students of Bruce Lee. That will be in the memoir somewhere.
Wow.
But that
Okay.
definitely,
Mm.
all of that informed how I was raised from birth and born in East St. Louis and then moved to Austin in 81 and
yeah,
was raised in Austin.
come on,
So
Eddie.
Wow.
Illinois in my
East
bones,
St. Louis. East St. Louis, you already know. You already
Texas
know.
Southern in my heart till I die. But all that to say how I was raised and brought up to that point, I was loved and I
Yeah.
was taught to think. I was
Mhm.
educated. My mother gave me books. My mother
Mhm.
gave me poetry. My
Yeah.
mother gave me Shel Silverstein when I was 3 and 4 years
Yes.
old. Baby,
Yeah.
she don't know what fire she lit in me with good old Shel.
Yeah.
Shell
But
was
she
the
gave me
truth.
that. So even that, the part of that poem that's not there, the behind the scenes of that poem is me being released from the truancy, mandatory truancy sessions I had to attend in Gardner Betts because I was in there pregnant and telling the children, they just want money for you.
Right.
Mm.
I told the kids like
Wow.
it was. I said, I told it like it was. I said, they don't care if you show up to the school. They want the money off of you so they can give it to the other kids.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, they said, well, we know you must be tired. You need some rest because you're pregnant. And they released me. They let me go home. Hmm.
That's true.
And
That's
I
good.
actually, I got my GED. So I'm also the state poet laureate with a GED because
Well,
I
that's
was not going to
Mm.
be in my 20s, still in high school. But what that meant was that I released myself from high school and I started college a year ahead of my graduating class. So check that math.
Wow.
I mean, but see, my whole point. You the writer of your narrative. This ain't what everybody
Exactly.
is
And
thinking.
but
Right.
by
Thinking that
sharing
this
it
is
though,
what
and the thing though, that's more people's narrative than you know.
it
Mhm.
is.
People
Right.
are ashamed and don't say it.
Right.
Great people are ashamed and don't say it. When I was pregnant with my daughter, I was so afraid to tell my mother, my grandmother, and my favorite aunt. I was terrified to tell them. And then when I told them, they said, baby, you smart. You're going to be fine. And then they said, that's us too. And I said, wait a minute. And then I started counting the years
Mm.
and realized, wait a minute. My granny was a teen mom. My favorite aunt was a teen mom. But nobody talk about those things.
Mhm.
They just go on living and take care of whatever. So, writing, putting it in the poems, putting the material here so that some other young person who is pregnant and is dealing with their lives, especially in these times in this state
Right.
and
Right.
in this country. I want them to see me and say, you know what? I know I'm not alone, at least there. That's somebody that knows my story. That's somebody
Right.
who found a way.
And
Don't we? Because we get tired. Now, part of our burnout, especially as Black folks, is somehow we believe some lie that we got to constantly keep building the path, carving our own path in our own way to show that
Yes.
we can do it. Baby, no, follow the path that has been laid for you.
wait for you
It's already, yes, it's been
It's
done.
already there for you.
already.
Who said that? Was that James Bond? You've already been bought and paid for.
Mm-hmm.
You've
Already.
already been bought and paid for.
And I keep trying to figure
Be
out what
free.
I'm trying to keep. I'm trying to keep from understanding why they be tripping on teen mothers when the book of Mark, Matthew, Luke, and John is about
Come on.
it's about teen mothers. And they wasn't trying to kill her. They wasn't trying to kill her because she's a teenage mother.
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
They was trying to get her because they had heard some poor motherfucker was about to tear kingdom down.
Hello.
Mhm.
Hello. Hello.
Wow.
No,
They
it's
was
just
trying to get her because they heard by chance some poor motherfucker from somebody from the trenches is gonna come up here and tear a whole kingdom down. So they went about murking the firstborn.
back in
Yeah, they did.
church. Back
They
in church.
went about the business and they're doing it today. Still today.
Yep.
Yeah.
If there's
That's it.
something, if there's something coming out of that classroom that's gonna that's gonna chant Babylon down, Miss Ma'am, you gotta get up out of here.
Yes. You're right.
You gotta get up out
No.
of here. But what they don't know is, okay, fine. Because guess what the fuck I'm doing now?
Right.
You gotta
Teaching
keep
the
That's
Yeah.
it.
You can't get
teaching
rid
the
of me.
and I'm gonna teach them to be free. And I'm gonna teach them to be free.
Yes.
And there's so much nuance, you know. There's so much nuance. Everybody has their own story. Everybody
Mhm.
has their own experience. Everybody is enough. Everybody deserves. And when you build a space, though, when people know that, they can show
Mm.
up for
Yes.
themselves first through anything. They can tell
Mhm.
you, oh, but I got this going on in my life. I got this going on in my life. You know, I had students. I too was in middle school and in public school for many years. And students would come into my office and or walk past me in the hallway, heads down, you know, with the hoodie up and earbuds in, trying to block out the whole world. And I say, excuse me, good morning. I'm so
Mm.
glad you're here.
I love
Come
you.
on now.
That's saying I love you.
I
I'm
love
so
you.
glad you're here.
I
I'm so
told
glad you're here. And I would have to correct teachers all the time who would say, oh, these bad kids. I'm sorry, a bad child is not a child
Yeah.
who shows up to school every day.
no.
Mhm.
A child who has come into this building every day and gave you the opportunity to do your job, to love them and educate them, that's not a bad child.
Nope.
How can they be? They here. A child come here. I come from a
Right.
place. I come from a place where we didn't go to the school. You don't go to school if you want to choose a different way in life. You don't go to school
Mm.
if you really about these streets. You're not up in school.
That's
Nah,
true.
you're not.
That's
Not in the
true.
street.
That's
You
right.
ain't went to school. You ain't going to school. That's what I know.
Right.
What
Right.
about? What are you talking about? When I was in school, and I'm sorry if I've dominated too much of this time, but
You
just
are
to say, I know
good.
the
I'm
difference that
loving every minute of this
Mhm.
conversation. Y'all have
and
blessed me.
duality exists. When I was in school, I was in the honors program for the city, the liberal arts magnet program, ninth grade, the year before I became pregnant. I had 100+ hours of absences.
Mm.
But because I wasn't in the schools when I was my thick head thought I was going to be a part of some other doings in life. And
Mm.
but then they didn't know what to do with me because I would show up and pass the test the one day I came to school.
That
Right?
part.
I love kids
What
like
would
you.
have happened to me? And I mean, don't get me wrong, life as it did, and I'm so happy with who I am, and I love myself so hard, and I love my family and the life that I have. But I also think, what would have happened? What options would I have had if I had teachers who loved me and said,
Mm.
don't leave. I miss you when you're not here. Come to
Mm.
school, not tell us if you're going to stay or leave, because we're tired of figuring out what to do with you.
Wow.
Mm.
I chose to leave. Who would choose to stay?
Right. There's no love there. Why you don't
No
feel love or
love there.
cared
Right.
for?
When
You don't feel
nobody, like I
love.
said, you leave a table when no love is no longer being served. There was no
Mhm,
love being
mhm.
served.
Right.
I left.
What you're saying, Amanda, reminds me of the book, The Push Out. I don't know if y'all have read that before, but it talks about the
Mhm.
criminalization of Black girls in schools.
Right.
But it talks about all that, and it really goes to what you're saying, because a lot of our Black girls go to school and they're told to shut up. They're told they're too loud. They're told you're not smart. When they ask questions, there's one example from that book. A girl asked a question and the teacher wrote her up for asking a question. You know, just little simple things like that. So, you know, it's hard now to be in education because we have so many teachers who don't love or care about their kids. And there's some people who think that you don't have to love the kids and you don't have to care about them to teach them. I disagree with that
I
personally.
disagree with that.
But it's the way these, going back to what we were saying earlier about the book bans and everything, they're trying to dismantle public education as well. So they're doing the private school vouchers and all these other things.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
A lot of people who are the good teachers are starting to leave. People like Rhea are starting to leave. And then you get in long-term subs. So you got kids who have teachers that don't have any experience whatsoever, can't teach the content. They're set up on a computer, got to take the class. So it's like what a lot of our students are in school systems where they're not with adults who care about them and love them. Now, some of them there are some good teachers, there are some good principals and administrators out there, but a lot of them are in schools where love is not being served. I don't gotta love you. You come in here and do the work. That's it.
Yep. Come in, do what I said do, and that's it. I don't care what's going on in your life. I don't care.
Your employer's not gonna love you. The world's not gonna love you. I think I'm doing a good job giving you this hard lesson so that you can learn it out in the world. All of that is failing the students and ourselves.
And it's with a bald-faced lie. I'm not working for no motherfucker who don't love me, don't care. That's
Come through. That's it.
Well, that's not what you see. You see the strike. You see the strike.
I just ain't
people
doing it.
leaving the workforce.
Guess what? Harriet Tubman boss didn't love her either, so she got the fuck up out of it. That's what she did. She got the fuck up out of there. Okay. So when you tell me shit like that,
oh my gosh,
that's what I'm telling you. When Harriet Tubman boss didn't love her, so she left that motherfucker too. So this don't do it.
What are the places that have good job retention? Places that have good benefits, good salaries. They have good leave, so you can be with yourself and your family when you need to. That they might not call it love, but it's care.
But it's care.
It's care. It's care, which is love, which is saying we need this care. We need these acts of love in our everyday lives as human beings for us to be able to function in this world. And if you want me to come and be a part of your enterprise, I still need these things. The places that provide that, they have longer retention. They have happier employees. All of that above.
All of that. Working us like mules. My dad teacher when I was in 4th grade, she called my house and talked to my big mama. She says, "Miss Booker, I am concerned about the rhetoric that Avery's being exposed to." And look, well, hold on.
Not rhetoric.
Rhetoric.
Hold on. This is what she did. This is what she said. And my big mama said, "Rhetoric? We read King James in this house." No. I know that teacher all the way up because I know that ain't what she thought she was gonna hear. Rhetoric. Avery Baptist. We read King James in this house.
Blasphemy.
I was so glad. I was glad that woman was structured in that level of thinking and mentality at that point, because I know it discombobulated that white teacher when she called it out. Trying to get me to keep from reading the book, and that lady told her, my big mom said, rhetoric, we Avery Baptist, we read King James in this house.
I love it.
Look, and when I tell people that story, people just fall out laughing because that lady really was trying to silence me and keep me from learning. And she had no idea, and she did not have no idea that Reddit was gonna trigger a woman from Mississippi. That's the way it did. she rhetoric. No, Avery, no, ma'am. Avery is Baptist. We read King James, and I just looked. I remember just looking, and I was so happy that lady had discombobulated that white woman. I was so happy.
Big Mama loved you.
Because that part.
Mm-hmm.
She loves you. She loved you.
But she had no idea
what that woman was talking about.
What the woman was talking about. She had no idea what I was reading, because it was me who was signing the free lunch forms. It was me who was writing the letters that Big Mama couldn't write. It was me doing that. Oh man, come read what this letter say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What does letter say? What? Yeah. She said, "Well, you show is smart." The doctor said you was gonna. The doctor said you was gonna be smart when you was born. He looked at your head and said, "Ma'am, it's gonna be a smart child." And
I love Big Mama.
But this is what I'm saying. So she had no idea that I was reading Bennett or Sanchez. All she knows is she looked at encyclopedias. She got me a set of encyclopedias because she's like, okay, got this baby coming in my house, and that baby got to have some encyclopedias to learn something about the world.
Did she get them all at once or one at a time? Because we had to get them one at a time.
She got hers. She got hers all at the same time.
We got ours all at the same time.
But
and
my
dad got the Black
History
encyclopedia.
Put spade on it. Put spade on it. Put spade on it. That's what it was.
Right.
I ain't had no money, so they would have them. I remember they had them at like the grocery store. Back in the day, and you could get they'd have certain sections at a time. So I had to build up little Britannica with the gold on the side. Yes.
Yeah.
She loved you. She loved you and made sure you had what you needed to read and explore. Yes.
That was what I was telling
about.
And
how dare your teacher call? How dare the teacher call with anything other than love in her heart? See, that's the problem. You think you have it. You think you have it. There's this self-righteousness that a lot of folks have, and it's giving very much. Look what I've done for you people. Look what I've done. Look what it very much gives. Look what I've done for you. I'm a teacher. I'm here. I am providing this public service. Look what I have done for you. And I'm here. I'm here to, and it's so because I'm concerned.
Boy read. That's what I'm not understanding. I'm in trouble because I read a book.
Because now you are becoming an inconvenience. You are challenging her intelligence.
Right.
You are challenging her truth and the lack of love for self that would allow you to go and lie to children. And I need this child to stop doing that.
Because I'm prime time.
I mean, we can break it all the way down.
I sat in the classroom and put a pause on the whole lesson. Wait a minute, ma'am. How you discover some people already there? How, Sway?
Right.
Yes. We can break it all the way down.
And the people are already there. Wouldn't the person who was already there be the one who discovered it?
Right.
And she didn't know what to do with it. Up until the point she was just like, look here, Avery. On Friday, the question comes, if you don't put this answer, I'm going to mark it wrong. Right? And to the point that she did have to call my house and tell this.
Oh God, no. A good teacher. See now, if I was in that classroom, what I would have done, number one, is give you more to read. I would have asked you to tell me more about what you heard, what you learned. And I would have said, yeah, I need you to write down the answer that you know I want you to put on the paper. But then why don't you on this paper write down why that answer is wrong?
That would be critical thinking, right?
Oh my God.
But they don't want that.
They don't want that. I told you the answer. They don't want that.
What they want you to do is memorize the answer. So when you take the class test, I can go back to the thing and say, I need this much money per student.
That's it.
Instead of this much money per student.
Yes.
It's a matrix.
Oh my gosh. I'm so glad you asked the questions. I'm so glad that you had the books and the encyclopedia and Big Mama. Even more so glad that you had Big Mama.
It's
Yeah.
wrong.
Yes.
Yeah.
They love. I'm trying to tell you.
Ooh.
And I tell people all the time, you looking at if you looking at me, you looking at somebody who a black woman loves.
Baby.
Wow.
Mhm.
Now that,
It's the only way
my
I'm here.
friend, is definitely a
I'm telling
point.
you, I'm telling you, it's the only way I'm here.
Yes.
Amen. Amen.
Yeah.
Only,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
only way.
That's
Mhm.
Way.
good.
Because this is what I'm saying all the time. But the other part, because I'm like, who else is taught to love any and everybody before themselves?
Mm.
Yeah.
Ooh.
You see what I'm saying? And I know this. And I know this. I know this.
Yeah.
But I also know if you got real love, you got a black woman who really loving you, it's because she also loves herself. She can't do it if she don't love herself.
Right.
That's
She can't
good.
love, she can't love you
Yeah.
if she don't love. Not no real love. Not no real love.
Right.
If she want it, she can buy you a
Mm.
Christmas, she can buy you a Christmas gift come
Yeah.
Christmas. Right? But woman love
Mm.
to tell you at Christmas, baby, I ain't got no money. But I got a hug that's gonna feel better than a Tonka.
Yes.
I got a hug that's gonna feel way better than a Tonka truck. You're gonna tear that Tonka truck up, but you ain't gonna tear up my hug. You ain't gonna do that. You
Well,
can't
I
tell.
got another poem in this stack of new poems.
Mhm.
It's short. It's short. It's so short. Can I share it?
Yes, please.
Please,
It's,
Yeah.
please.
it's so short. Let me get to. Oh, here it is. Here it is. You said that about a hug, and it just made me think of this line. A friend once said, "Love just means you'll be there." That's it. I remember hospital
Oh,
rooms,
wow.
machines humming in the key of life,
Mhm.
doctors with thin percentages of hope and heavy brows, late nights alone in a parked car screaming into the void. How we empty ourselves of grief and climb love's staircase just to hold hands, just
Mm.
in case.
Mm.
Thank you. So you said that about that
Mhm.
hug. How many times? Oh, you made me start crying.
No, look.
Mm.
How many times a hug has saved my life?
Come on now.
Oh.
Mhm.
A
Mhm.
hug.
A hug,
Uh-huh.
Yep.
a hug, just a hug. Absolutely no words. Someone seeing
Mhm.
me and
Mhm.
opening their arms and saying, "Come
Mhm.
here. I'm with you. I'm with you." Love just means I'll be there.
That's what it means.
It doesn't mean I'll buy you. You said Tonka trucks, gifts, whatnot. It means I will be there
Mhm.
no matter what
Mhm.
comes. And you said a whole word. My white mama loved me deeply because I know she let the black women in my life bring me up.
Mm.
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 My mama loved me so much
Mm.
that I had my granny in my life as a
Yeah.
constant, that I had Janice in my life as a constant. These black women raised me up.
Yeah.
Yes.
Your
How
Yes.
much
mama,
my
your
mother
mama a
loved
soldier
me.
though. Your mama a soldier though. Herself.
Yeah. Right. Right.
Yes.
Your mama about it though.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes.
She
Your
That's
mama
See, my
prepared.
about it
mother,
though.
There
my
she is.
mother, shout out to my mom. I love my mama so much. And I'm so grateful she's still here. She's just 10 minutes from the road. I see her
Come on
almost
now.
every day. I talk to her often.
Mm.
But Grace, my mother was a single mom with 2 kids. And she's not being a union organizer, being a steward in the union, being a single mom, making it happen, just doing whatever she had to do to raise us up. She still would say she was non-confrontational. She doesn't like drama. She stayed away from the mess or whatever. But what my mama did was she didn't lie. And she never tried to pass who she was and who her family was, right? As a white woman. My mother told me this, being down here in Texas, one thing she would do, single woman, so she'd be out, friends or whatever at the little club, little bar situation. Hey,
Yeah.
grown-ups have lives too.
Mhm.
Um, And there would be some man who saw my mama sitting at the bar and come over and start talking. And then he would start to say something racist and something ugly, expecting her to laugh. And my mama, cool as she want to be, would just say, "Did I tell you I had kids?" And they say, "Oh, no. Let me show you my kids." And she would open up her wallet. Back in the day, we wouldn't have our phones. So you would have a wallet
The wallet.
with wallet size
With the pictures in it, the wallet size.
And
They're
she would
folded out.
open, and she would, and she would flip out these pictures of her beautiful Black and brown children. And then the conversation would just end and that person would leave, But that was the way that my mother loved me in my absence.
That's
That's
good.
right.
And that was
That's
the way
right.
my mother never denied me who I was. And that's how my mother loved me to no end.
Mm.
She prepared you.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. And also what I say before, taking the ownership of my part in the thing, right? We have to do those things. My mother often took ownership of what she didn't know and saying, "I don't know this part."
Yeah.
Yeah.
My
Right.
granny, praise,
Yeah.
rest in peace and power to my grandmother, Margaret Sandlin, forever and always. My granny loved me unconditionally and raised me up. My favorite aunt Janice Robinson in Portland, Oregon, loved me today like a daughter. And my mother said, "Yes, please, and thank you." You talk about a village. As my mama
Yeah.
and two
Oh,
Black women in
now?
particular raised me up.
That's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yes,
Because that's love. And that's what
that's
love
love.
does. That's what love does.
And it truly takes the village.
It does.
Mhm.
It does. Can't do it by yourself.
Mhm.
It
When
truly
I say
takes the
that
village.
tonight has been a blessing, that is an
It really,
understatement.
truly has. Truly
It
has.
has been
Y'all are such a
absolutely
gift.
amazing. You
I
all
had no
are a
idea.
gift.
I was trying to make it too. I was like, I'm gonna try. I promise you, I'm gonna try.
I'm
And
so glad that you did.
listen,
Like I said, I
listen,
will be reaching out. I want to have each one of you on my podcast. Thank you for contributing to the next generation's Black history. I love what you said, Avery, about in 20 years, somebody's going to have their story from opening a book that somebody
all
on
wrote.
one of
There's
these
look,
calls
look,
have
we
have
One of
on
them
the
All
book.
of y'all.
He
All of
wrote.
y'all.
We
Yeah.
on the books at the end of the day. And we
Yes.
on the
Yeah,
books.
yeah,
We ain't on
yeah.
the books because
Child.
somebody put us there. We
The
on the books
books.
because of our work. We on the
Yes.
books because of our work. And I love that we have for ourselves enough to do this thing that tells us, no, keep doing it. Because
Yeah.
who tells somebody to be a writer?
Mhm.
Who tells somebody? They telling babies, don't go to college, sign this $1 million football deal.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
2 years when your body get broke, ain't nothing we can do for you. Because you didn't put nothing here.
Right. Right.
We literally ran you like a mule.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We literally ran you like a meal, and that 2 point whatever million meant something for you, but you think
You think that was a lot of money?
that was the money.
Yeah.
You thought that was the money, but the
Mhm.
money
Bring
we
in the
made off you,
mathematics.
right? The money we made off. So
Mhm.
we own these books on the spine of these books, on the cover of these books, and we
Yes.
got there because of the love we have enough for ourselves to stop and pause and listen to whatever it is that's in our brain to put on a sheet of paper. Whatever's in our imagination to put on a sheet, whatever experience that we've lived through, we got enough gumption and enough courage to say, hey, this is what I went through this one day I was living.
Yes.
Because one day I was living, I went through this.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm gonna share this with you.
And
And
I'm going to share it with you. That's the part. That part.
Yeah.
I have a story to tell, and I'm
And
going
I'm
to
gonna
share
share
it
it.
with you.
with you.
Yes. Yes. And that's the sharing is how we connect. We break the silence.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's it.
I'm so glad I
Thank you.
got to share with
like
y'all
that's like
tonight.
the closing statement right there.
Yes.
I have a story to tell, and I'm
Tell-
going to
I'm
share
gonna
it
share it
with
with
you.
you. Yes.
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 thank you,
Woo.
everybody who will watch this. Those who are watching right now, we appreciate you. And thank you so much, Jennifer and Amanda and
Thank
Avery,
you.
for coming and having this conversation with me. I can't wait to talk to you all again.
For
And
sure.
have a blessed rest of your